Hello everyone, it's Ruby here. Bringing you guys another video, and today we are addressing the comment section of the Alexa and Nikolas drama / Adam McIntyre versus Alexa and Nikolas whole shebang. We're going to be talking, responding to, and in general reiterating and going over my thoughts on this very issue. So we're going to start with my comment section, but we're going to go through each of the videos and read through the comment sections and kind of give my take, my response to each and every one of them. Okay, so first of all, from Joseph. She also slammed Matthew Underwood multiple times and started supporting him after he came out as Survivor. It's true. Alexa, at least from what I've seen, seems to have some biases towards her Nickelodeon co-stars. And I do think it is bias. Because she's not keeping the same tempo that she would towards, like, Corey Feldman or any of them. It's not like she treats them very differently, even though they are very similar in circumstance. It's very interesting that Alexa has also commented about how, it's important to support these survivors, but at the same time, she doesn't want to support the Drake Bell survivors. And also, on top of that, she doesn't seem to like it when other survivors call her out for the things that she has done or done wrong and stuff like that, which is quite strange for a supposed advocate. And I just want to give some context, okay? I'm not someone who came in hating Alexa and Nikolas. I actually liked and respected what Alexa and Nikolas has done, but I also recognize and have seen the hypocrisy, the double standards, the inconsistency with going after predators. And I haven't always agreed with Alexa's take. Jesus, this video is so slow even on 2x speed. Well, I'll make sure to slow it down nice and slow for you. But seriously, it wasn't even that slow. I was just, God forbid I think before I speak, or I take a few moments to make sure that I'm saying everything that I want to say. Sorry I don't write scripts or anything for my videos, and I don't like editing because I don't see the point of it. Well, this is news to me. I ever watched some of her podcast episodes on Zori 101 and Drake Bell thing. She just calling out the people that weren't defending Drake. And why Nickelodeon is effed up. I think... So... She started out saying, Drake Bell needs to be supported, in terms of survivorhood. Which is true. It's true. Okay? There's nothing wrong with saying that Drake Bell needs to have that sort of respect. I've said that on this channel. I have said that. I have said that, we can see that Drake Bell is a victim of what was done to him and everything in between that. We can see that, yes, Drake Bell, what happened to him was traumatizing and effed up, and it should never have happened to begin with. At the same time, we can still acknowledge that the things that he has done is also unacceptable and should never have happened, and we need to hold him accountable for the very actions that he has done. Kat Tembarge is a crap journalist, to be honest, though. She had targeted other DV survivors and defended an abuser because she was a woman, but Adam, she should have left alone. Again, I said I don't know who cat really is. Never heard of her. Respectfully, never heard of her. I don't agree with the stance of, you know, the whole, it's all, like, I don't like how we're saying that, you know, Amber Heard was abused, but Johnny wasn't. They're both equally abused by each other. I think that's the most sensible take to have, is that both of them were toxic to each other. Who started first? I don't know. Wasn't there. Don't know. But all I can say is that whatever happened was clearly a toxic environment to begin with for both parties. There are things that are undeniable, that was evident, that had evidential backings in the court cases, which went against Amber Heard, and there were things that went in favor of Amber Heard. It's just a bad situation all around, and honestly, I'm over the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's story. I do think that it's strange the way that it was handled, and strange the way that it was portrayed. It's the whole thing about how men can't be abused or women can't be abusers, and it couldn't be further from the truth. Lady, you need to talk faster. Make the video interesting for the audience. Get to your talking points quicker. Nah, I think I'm good. I think I'm good at the speed that I'm at. Also, I don't care if you watch my videos at 2x speed. I literally don't care. That's what I do for most of my videos. Like, any video I watch is 2x speed, so get with the program. The case against Drake Bell was proven to be a false accusation and a complete lie. He only moved because his fans were centered in Latin America, so I don't see the issue with defending Bell lately. No. Drake Bell was not proven to be a false accusation. What was proven to be false is the article that was published by the New York Times. They got the story wrong. But Drake Bell was not proven to be a false accusation because he pled guilty to his crimes. So, no, he did not plead guilty to everything. No, he was never put on a registry. No, he was never put on a list. No, he was never convicted of sexual assault or sexual violence or anything like that. But he was convicted of child endangerment. And I cannot stand behind the idea that we treat one type of abuse worse than the other. Because those types of abuse that we hear about, the ones that we feel bad for, originate from the smaller cases. They started out as not a big deal. They started out as small little instances, and they developed over time to be greater and greater and greater. It didn't just start at, like, if you hear the testimony and the story of what happened between Drake Bell and Brian Peck, we understand that it didn't start out as immediately having, intercourse. It started out with a simple interaction. It didn't escalate to that degree until Drake Bell and Brian Peck were alone and that relationship of trust was well established. It's important for us to hold Drake Bell accountable for his actions, the ones that he was proven guilty for and pled guilty for, because if we don't, that is how it escalates to something way worse and way bigger. And as I've said, we should not wait for the actual action to say, hey, now we call them out. That's not how we stop the cycle. That is how we enable the cycle. We need to call out the small instances, the things that don't seem like a big deal, because otherwise they're going to turn into a big deal. I mean, look at what Mr. Beast has gotten away with. Look at what, Ava Chris Tyson got away with. Like, it starts out always as a small thing, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger, and it gets bigger. Okay? The people who defend Drake Bell for his actions are part of the problem, because we need to call these actions out. Now, I'm not saying that we need to lynch him. I've never said that. I've never said that we, need to pull out the pitchforks or anything. I don't believe in that. But what I do believe is being held accountable. And when you're a survivor advocate, like Alexa claims to be, you are not the person who needs to be attending his concert and going behind the scenes and, trying to defend him in any way. Now, technically, Alexa hasn't really actually defended Drake Bell, because I think she understands that he is guilty of the things that he did. But what I find strange is that her husband is the one that is defending Drake Bell through and through. He said that, there's hundreds of he said it in the comments, and we'll look at that. But I do believe that it's important to hold Drake Bell accountable, even if you think that the things that he did were minimal, because that is how we end up with the cycle. Is that the cycle? It always starts small. It always starts out as a no big deal, and then it turns into something that we don't want to speak about. So we need to address the small things in order to take out the bigger actions. I mean, technically, Drake Bell was falsely accused. No, he was not. He was not falsely accused. This is actually the problem when multiple people, share stories and everything, and one of them is false, but the other ones are true, is that it often discredits the ones that are true, and it makes people confused as to what is the truth. Okay. Yes, some of the stories, some of the things that Drake Bell was accused of were false. But no, not all of them, and not all of them were proven false. And some of them he has pled guilty to, and some of them he hasn't even answered to. So we don't actually know what was actually proven false, other than the one testimony. Okay, Drake Bell is still guilty. He is still part of the problem. He still needs to be held accountable. Alright, here we go. You're wrong, and here's why. Drake Bell, despite all the things he did, is a victim of the worst kind of behavior. True, I agree with that. I never said that he wasn't. He deserves sympathy and deserves empathy for his trauma. True, I can agree with that. Yes, go after him for what he did later, which is what we're doing. But he deserves the grace for being a victim of Nickelodeon. I agree with that. I've never said that was something that we shouldn't do. I think you're assuming my stance because you think that I am like part of a hive mind or something. But you can go back. I've said that. Like, I've been on Drake Bell's side in terms of we should support him as a survivor. But I've also said we need to call him out. Still, for the actions that he has done, we can admit that what happened to him is bad and should never have happened, but we can also say that he needs to be held accountable for his actions. All of you want to assassinate Drake Bell for his transgressions. I don't want to assassinate him. I never said that I wanted to assassinate him. I just don't think that Alexa Nikolas, the person who says that she is there for survivors, the person who says that she's going to be advocating for survivors, should be attending a Drake Bell concert. I don't think she should be monetarily or emotionally supporting him. Like, that is what I'm against. I'm not against him as a person. Okay, I'm not saying that he needs to be lynched. I'm saying that he needs to be held responsible for his actions. And he needs to you need to treat him like every other person, every other predator, because otherwise it turns into every other predator. Like, this is just part of the cycle of abuse. It is simply the cycle of abuse. Rather than use it as a learning lesson for how childhood abuse creates a cycle of abuse later. I have used it as a learning lesson of how the childhood abuse, like, I have done that. I am not the person who is saying that we shouldn't address the cycle of abuse. In fact, I'll say it right now. I'll do a video separately on the idea of the cycle of abuse, because I think that it's something that needs to be discussed. And why is it that the victims tend to become the perpetrator? Why is it that all of these things, like these minor transactions, turn into much bigger problems in the future? There's many reasons behind that. Some of that's psychologically, so I won't necessarily talk about that because I'm not a psychologist. I'm not licensed or anything. I don't want to speak on that. But I will speak on the things that I do know and the things that should be addressed and how we can fix it. Like, that is something that I definitely want to do. And I'm not, like, I think there's a lot of generalizations and assuming my opinion because I'm calling out Alexa Nikolas for what she's done. You cannot change this sort of behavior through shame alone. No, you can't. I agree with that. Okay, I agree with that. I'm not saying that we should shame Drake Bell, but I am saying that we need to hold him accountable for the actions that he has done. Even if Drake Bell were to die in shame, which is what it seems you all want, I don't want that. I don't know where this came from. I don't know where in my video I said, let's kill Drake Bell. No, I didn't say that. You're making a whole bunch of assumptions based on what you think I think, which is part of the problem. It still won't stop this sort of behavior from happening with the next Nickelodeon star. No, it won't. But what will stop it from happening to the next Nickelodeon star is if we address the actual problem. We can't be saying, oh, he only flirted, he only did this, he only did that. What he did was wrong, what he did was problematic, and it needs to be called out before it becomes something bigger. Like, we should not be waiting for SA to happen in order to hold someone accountable. Like, that's not how that works, and it's not how it should ever work. And that is how you end up with situations like what happened to Drake Bell, because someone didn't go, like, someone went under the radar. Like, they weren't held accountable for their actions. I mean, when was Brian Peck held accountable for his action? He wasn't. He continued to do what he did because he got away with it. This is exactly the problem of letting these small things go. Like, we can't just do that. We have to hold them accountable for everything that they have done. It still won't stop this sort of behavior from granting him sympathy will make it so that the next childhood star won't go to the same path. I strongly disagree with that. Okay? I strongly disagree with that. His sympathy towards Drake Bell will not change what happens to the next childhood star at all. You know what will? Legislation, restrictions, pressuring Congress to protect the child actors. Not even just Congress, but state laws in general. Making sure that this can never happen again. Ensuring that the right protections are put in place. That this is brought to be an important situation. And you know what else is important? Calling out bad behavior. Because when we call out bad behavior, it's less likely for these people to continue doing what they're doing because they're being caught. They're getting punished. When we don't call out the behavior, when we say, oh, it's not a big deal, oh, it's just a small thing, that's when it becomes a big thing because they realize that they can get away with it. They love it when they can get away with it, and they will do anything, and they will continue to do things. I'm not saying Drake Bell will, I'm just saying that this is often a common pattern for abusers, that they start off with tiny little things that slowly get bigger and bigger and bigger until it's too late. This is exactly why we need to hold Drake Bell and anyone who does even the smallest infraction accountable. I'm not saying they should all have the same punishment, but I am saying that there is a line that cannot be crossed, and that is, hurting kids, hurting minors, and just hurting people in general. Like, I'm not saying that cheating, for example, cheating on your ex is something that should necessarily be cancelable. But I do think that in a way that you need to be held accountable for that, because even stuff like that can transpire and then snowball into being something way worse. I must admit, it seems like all of you are trying to go after Alexa for not fitting into your narrative. No, I'm not. I'm not doing that. I'm going after Alexa because she decided to go after people that shouldn't be gone after. Like, she's the one who decided to go after Adam McIntyre and even Kat Tenbarge. Like, what happened to going after predators? What happened to making sure that predators were being taken down? I even said, there's so many predators for you to be talking about, Alexa. There's so many of them. Why aren't you talking about them? Why are you going after Adam McIntyre and Kat Tenbarge? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And for what? For why? Like, that is what I was saying. Is that, like, it doesn't make sense. I don't think you even watched the video, but it's okay. Because all of these critics are two-dimensional and not constructive at all. I think I was pretty constructive. I don't see why Alexa is continuing to support Drake Bell behind the scenes. Like, if she read all those stories from the sealed documents that she got somehow, she should know not to associate herself with Drake Bell. And even the fact that she's wanting to, like, publish these sealed documents is problematic as well. For multiple reasons. But especially because that is sensitive information. The very problem with her having the sealed documents that are not meant for her eyes is the fact that it's already hard enough to get victims to testify in a courtroom. Because they're scared. Because they don't want people to know what happened to them. Because they don't want their abuser coming back to them. They don't want these things to be happening. They don't want to deal with this harassment and abuse and getting re-traumatized and having their personal story put on blast for everyone to see. Like, there's a reason why there's certain protections for survivors, for minors and everything. Like, there are sealed documents for a reason, and Alexa should never have had those documents to begin with. And no, they are not public information at all. Like, it's so weird. And even if she did have public documents, still using her public, Twitter to flaunt them about is it's so bad. Like, why would you do that? Don't you understand? Like, how would you feel it if you believe that what you were saying was between you and your lawyer and only your lawyer, or you and the courtroom and only the courtroom, and you then learn that testimony that you gave is now public for everyone to read? It's so disgusting. It's so bad. Like, if there's anything Alexa should be called out for, it is that. Whether you agree that Drake Bell is bad or not, I don't care. But using sealed documents to threaten or to be used as a weapon or like some bragging point, that's so disgusting. It is probably worse than supporting Drake Bell. There's just some things that I just don't understand why Alexa is even doing. I don't defend Alexa on every issue. Seems like you do. I do think she focuses too much on Nickelodeon rather than go against the industry as a whole. Well, I mean, I can understand why she focuses on Nickelodeon so much, because that's her network. That's where she has the most experience for. But I also think that in many ways, she can't possibly do the job that she claims she wants to do if she doesn't expand her outreach to other industries. Because, I mean, there's so many industries that are toxic and horrible, but there's a way to do it, and there's a way to go about doing so. And again, going after sealed documents, going after the survivors, like, it's so bad. And if you don't understand why that's bad, I don't think I can really explain to you the sheer problem with Alexa and how she has handled the situation in general. Okay, I hope that Alexa can see the light. I hope she can see, like, oh man, I made a mistake, like, saying these things. Like, I'm not someone who's gonna hold Alexa by her knees upside down. Like, if she apologizes and is like, man, I'm sorry, I was completely insensitive, I messed up, I should never have really even talked about those sealed documents, or, you know, I should never have gone after, you know, Adam McIntyre. Like, if she says that, I'm willing to hear her out. Like, I'm willing to see what changes. But to me, I don't think it's going to change. At least not anytime soon. I hope she changes, because I'd like to respect Alexa again. But I'm afraid that she's putting too many blinders on to see the real problems with her actions, and unfortunately, that's just how things go. This is so long, man. Cares about her childhood peers. Yeah, she does care too much about defending herself from former childhood peers. And most of them are just pathetic, and they're living their life. Yeah, like, she shouldn't be supporting Drake Bell. Alexa is brave, though, because here's the truth. Alexa is never going to be an actress again. I mean, that's for sure. Alexa is never going to get good grace from that industry again. No. She is now like the rest of us, despite given the chance to become a star. That is her choice. Adam McIntyre is a jerk because he assumes that Alexa is doing it. No, he's not. But he's not. It's not what he assumes at all. It's not what he said at all. See, I don't think you've actually watched what people have said about her, because that's not what Adam McIntyre has said at all. If this is all about, like, the whole, like, irrelevant thing, that's not what he said at all. Like, it's not. I'm not sure where this narrative came from you. She's walking the path that cares more about making a difference over creating personal clout. Is she, though? Is she walking that path? I can't say I agree with that. At least not from where she's approaching this situation. Like, maybe if it was, like, a different circumstance, I could agree with that. But it seems that whenever she's talking about the criticism, she's always talking about me. Like, why aren't you supporting me? Why aren't you listening to me? Why aren't you making an article about me? Like, it doesn't seem like she is doing this to be self-righteous. Like, it does feel a little bit like she's a little bit selfish and does want the attention because she misses the attention. I'm not going to read too much into that, though, because I don't know her personally. But I do believe that some of this is kind of the jealousy or the disappointment that she isn't like a lot of her co-stars. Like, she isn't, Victoria Justice, or she isn't, heck, even Jamie Lynn Spears. I mean, it just is a lot to handle. And I'm not saying that it's a problem that if she does feel that way, I don't think that's a problem necessarily. I think she just needs to be honest about how and why she feels the way that she does. And I don't think she's been doing that at all. Anyways, that was a lot. Alright, on to the next. On to the next. Man, I should probably do this in, like, multiple parts. Alright, let's do at least this one, though. This is the one that I want to talk about, though. Alright. Oh my god, why is it so long? You know what? Never mind. I don't want to do this anymore. Can we at least just... Maybe if we just, here. We'll do it this way. Because I don't want this to be an hour long again. Read out loud.
To Cat Tenbarge over the years, I've encountered numerous journalists, and it deeply saddens me that someone who claims to support survivors and their narratives and who dedicates time to raising awareness about abuse could engage in such unethical and harmful investigative reporting. It is disturbing to witness someone I love, someone who has tirelessly advocated for the survivor community, be subjected to daily harassment and slander, often by the very individuals she set out to protect and support. Your uninformed stance and unwillingness to carefully examine the facts before you report to your sources have played a significant role in this, exposing your biases and lack of integrity. When you first sent your uninformed list of investigative questions, there wasn't an ounce of fear. Only pain and frustration at the thought of having to organize, answer, and share everything Alexa and I have documented over the past couple of years. It was disheartening to think that, once again, we were not being believed. Even you seem surprised by the full transparency we provided regarding the business operations and activities of the organization. Despite receiving over 100 pages of responses and evidence, you still sought ways to support your agenda, spinning conspiracies to fuel a witch hunt against a survivor activist who only aimed to help others and use her platform for good. You should be ashamed. You owe Alexa an immediate apology. You weaponized your position as a journalist to carry out a character assassination against an innocent person and even considered giving a platform to her dangerous stalker, someone who has threatened the lives, well-being, and safety of Alexa and our children. This is truly shameful. I'm not sure how you remain employed, but perhaps returning to ASMR YouTube videos would be more productive than manipulating narratives without regard for ethics or reason. It's clear that your vendetta against Drake Bell was rooted in a desire to harm Alexa. When you discovered what was in the publicly available police documents, you should have reconsidered your perspective and reported on it, but because it didn't align with your previous narrative, you chose silence. Alexa searches for the truth, even when it's uncomfortable or disappointing. She embraces it and shares that knowledge with others, asking the right questions, like a journalist should. So, the real question is, why didn't you? You are a paid professional, yet you failed to do your job. Finally, to those criticizing Alexa's association with Drake Bell, simply because they appeared in a documentary together and she supported his survival and his stand against Nickelodeon, please remember that child stars and public figures are human beings with their own suffering, difficulties, and stories. I urge you to spend more time researching Drake's case instead of wasting energy spreading hate in the echo chambers of the internet. Women in the media and online are often held to an unrealistic standard of perfection, subjected to relentless criticism and scrutiny. Alexa has never scammed anyone or promoted falsehoods about her activism. She has only tried to make a positive impact in the world, and it's sickening to see how quickly people are willing to tear her down for it. Show less. 33.
Stop it.
33.
Stop.
A positive impact in the world, and it's sickening to see how.
Stop. Okay. Oh my god, this guy gives the biggest red flags I've ever seen. Holy shit. Okay. Maybe I need to do another video on this. No, we're gonna get this video done because I don't want to do another video on this. Okay. It's clear your vendetta against Drake Bell was rooted in the desire to harm. No, okay, this is to Kate Denbarge. I can't speak to her motives, but I'm gonna read this as if he's talking to me because, I mean, let's talk about it, okay? It's clear that your vendetta against Drake Bell was rooted in a desire to harm Alexa. Well, no, at least I am not. I mean, again, I don't know about Kat, but I mean, to be fair, I saw the questions and they were reasonable questions to ask, so I don't understand that part. But let's just pretend that, you know, this is because I feel like this is more towards everyone, not just Kat. I mean, come on now. Okay, first of all, the information that was talked about is not available in the publicly available police documents. They are not available. They are in sealed documents, and they contain disturbing and harmful information that should not be flaunted about to your subscribers or your followers or whatever. Alexa searches for the truth even when it's uncomfortable or disappointing. Apparently when it's disappointing, she puts all her guards up and attacks everybody else. I mean, that's what she just did. She embraces it and shares the knowledge with others. Does she, though? She's held on to those documents and has refused to do a video on Drake Bell. Asking the right questions. What questions did she ask? So the real question is, why didn't you pay? Okay. Criticizing, this is the part that gets me. Criticizing Alexa's association with Drake Bell simply because they appeared in a documentary together, and she supported his survival and his stand against Nickelodeon. Simply because they appeared in a documentary together. No, that is not simply the reason why. It's because she was at a freaking concert with him, going backstage. I need to see the replies to this. Oh my god. An abortion. See, this is the problem. Surrounding herself with yes men like this who praise everything she does, no matter how horrible, while writing off any valid criticism towards her as abuse. And pinned it further. I think the problem is that a lot of people are oh my god. Oh my god, he's replying to more? Oh god. Oh no. Oh my god, this guy's bad. I mean, I don't hate Alexa, but I hate her husband apparently because dear god, what the heck? What a guy, man. What a guy. Oh god. Oh my god. Giant red flag, this guy. I don't like him at all. From what he said here, I don't like him at all, man. I mean, oh god. Apparently Alexa likes him for what he said. Seems weird. It seems like he supports Drake Bell, if anyone does. I don't know, man. Okay, I think I regret reading that comment because that just broke my brain in 5,000 different ways. I kind of did want to talk about Adam's response, but you know what? I think this is fine. So let's recap, okay? Let's recap, okay? Just one more time, okay? I don't think that Alexa is irredeemable. I think that she's just too caught up in all of this to really see like why what she's doing is bad and problematic. Like, I don't think she has completely comprehended how bad it is that she has sealed documents and is reading it and is posting it on social media. Like, I'm not sure if she understands how far she has gone in terms of going against the survivors. Like, she doesn't see how wrong it is to have these sealed documents. Like, she could have accessed the public documents, like, that are available, but she wanted to go through and get the sealed documents, which are private information that hold private information about the victims of Drake Bell. And now she knows pretty much exactly who is speaking about Drake Bell, and it's disturbing because she shouldn't know. No one should know except the victim and the court. And it's something that is very important because, again, a lot of victims, especially victims of abuse, are hesitant, are scared to even give a testimony, let alone hold a court hearing. And this is exactly why, because they're afraid that people that they know are going to judge them, people that they don't know are going to judge them. They're afraid that they're not going to be believed. They're afraid that the abuser is going to read this and get out and you know, make it worse. Like, it's so bad that I believe that is the worst thing that she has done so far. Not even supporting Drake Bell. Like, I mean, I would kind of respect maybe Alexa a little bit if she was like, yeah, I'm going to his concert. Yeah, I'm doing this and that. But she doesn't want to because she wants to remain to be two-faced. Like, she either supports Drake Bell or she doesn't. Lying that she isn't supporting Drake Bell and then going to his concert and going backstage, that doesn't make any sense at all. And it feels like she's hiding something. It feels like she knows it's wrong, but she just doesn't want to be honest. Like, if she had a reason as to why she's going backstage, she should say it, because maybe it's an actual valid reason. But to us, the outsider, it looks like she's supporting the guy. It looks like she's forgiving the guy. And, you know, there's one thing to give sympathy from an outside perspective. There's another to completely support him and go to his concert and go to his events. And it seems like a weird thing to do if you're supposed to be an advocate for survivors. I mean, all of this just seems really weird, really strange, and we will talk about the psycho abuse. I will talk about the psycho abuse because I think it's important to talk about. But in general, Alexa has made a lot of mistakes lately, and at the very least, she needs to apologize to Adam. If she doesn't want to apologize to Kat, you know, I'm not going to force her to do that. But she does owe at least an apology to Adam, but also an apology to the Drake Bell victims that she has probably re-traumatized because of her actions. Because it is bad what she has done. Don't get that twisted. It is absolutely horrible what she's done in terms of taking those sealed documents. Anyways, I'm going to move on from this. Okay? I'm not going to do another video on this. I didn't think I was even going to do this one, but I ended up wanting to at least respond in a video to the comments that were left. But anyways, goodbye. See you never. I'm just kidding. If you want to stick around, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Bye.